update. We have not done a garden video in a while, so garden update. Be excited because things have changed a lot, which is really cool. I'm going to start here just quickly. We have the finger lime is budding, and not just that, but where is it? There we go. You can see here there are some baby finger limes. If we can start to actually fruit, then that's going to be really exciting because we haven't actually managed to get any fruit off it before. We've had them grow like, you know, maybe nearly to full size and nearly to ripe, and then we moved the plant back from like a subtropical climate back to a cold temperate climate. Needless to say, it did not like this and the fruit fell off. But hopefully this year will be the year that we actually get some fruit from it because they're amazing and that would be really cool. And then over here we have the pear tree, which is doing well. It's coming back from all that damage that it had. I don't know if you remember, something was climbing up the fence and eating it. And it's had some new growth come back, but then as you see here, something is still eating it now. So we'll need to keep an eye on that, I don't know, and figure out what's happening, if we need to do anything about it or not. The cucumbers, of course, have succumbed. That was always going to happen. Rosemary's doing well, getting quite tall. It is like, you know, significantly taller. I think last video it was like down here, and we've now had like, this is all new growth on the top. You can see the soft tips there, where it transitions from like the woody stem to the soft tip. That's all new growth, which is cool. These berry canes are doing amazing and are starting to take over this whole corner here. So again, fingers crossed that it lasts until like, I don't know, be an autumn fruiting raspberry, in which case we might see some flowers and some berries in about, I don't know, I guess like March or April. Otherwise it'll be a summer berry, but that means that the canes will only produce fruit in the second year. So we'll have to wait till like this time next year and then might get something off them if they last that long. They're not our canes, so we are not really in control of this situation. We'll see what happens. But down next to those, we have the lettuces, which are going here, which I have to say, I tasted them the other day and they are pretty gross. I don't know whether it's just, I don't know, the soil is not too bad. Like, this is all our compost soil in here, so it's actually pretty decent. But the weather's been really hot, apart from this last week. And I think it's just too hot for them, and they're bitter. They're really, really bitter, which is sad because they're pretty and they've grown so quickly and it would be lovely to eat them, but it is not lovely to eat them right now because they're kind of gross. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see on there, something, this has happened just in the last couple of days since I last checked them, but something is obviously attacking and making them unhappy. So I don't know, I'm going to have to get onto that as well, but honestly they might just come out in another week or so, and I'll try something else in the pot and we'll see. I don't know, we'll see what happens. The little mint is happening up the top there. That's our little invader from the next door neighbour, so that's a thing. That's cool. We've already picked it once, I think, and brought it inside to dry out. Our chives, they're not really like thick enough to harvest yet, but you can see they've come up through the fences now, and they're like, that is actually significantly taller than I thought it was going to be when I picked it up. So they are quite tall and doing well, even though, like, I imagine it's going to take another season or two for them to thicken up enough to eat. Now, these basils here are like desperately holding on in their fight for life because I still have not put any bait down or anything for the snails or whatever it is, but you know, they're there, they're functioning, or not, as the case may be. But you know, I don't know, life is busy, things are complicated. If a couple of the basil plants die, this will, I guess, not be the end of the world, but also this week is less busy, even though it's the lead up to Christmas. So hopefully I will have time to go down and get some snail bait and keep these little things alive. But the other ones that are doing okay are, here again, the tomatoes are still, come on, here we go. Tomatoes are coming along nicely. We've got that one. The one that was there got eaten like 2 days ago. I don't even know what happened. It just went from being there like this big to all of a sudden there being absolutely nothing. So something's gotten that. But this little guy is doing really well. And these ones over here are even better. And as you can see, they are just about touching the top of the fence. So it's almost time to start thinking about taking some of the fences down, which is great. And these basils that are near the tomatoes here, even though they're still being eaten, they're still, you know, look, there's enough there that I actually harvested some the other day to put on pizzas for the kids. So that was cool. So, you know, there's little sketchy bits of basil all the way down there. Whether they'll survive or not, who knows. We'll see. These ones here, I think I have a feeling that these are trees that I have inherited from someone. But it's kind of, I don't know. They might be family walnut trees that have come from like a tree on a family property, because that's the only thing that I can think of that they might be. But if that's the case, I also wasn't expecting to actually get those, and I wasn't the one who brought them home to the house. And my husband thinks that they were not his as well and that they belonged to his mother, but she didn't take them when she left. So look, we have bonus trees here right now. I'm just going to try and keep them alive and figure out who they belong to and keep them alive, you know. Next to those, we have our lovely apricot tree, which, as you can see, we have had to net now because the apricots are ready. Oh, I can't. Come on. Don't focus on... No, it's just going to focus on the netting. Never mind. You get the idea. It's a tree. There are apricots. We have eaten some. They are delicious. Potato invader is still like living there under its veil of netting. I don't know if anything will happen. I did put straw in the end, but I think it was probably too late in the season to get any potatoes from it, so we'll see. The herbs are doing amazingly. They were like way chopped back last time, like almost at the level of the pot. And you can see all three of them are nice and bushy, but like the plants on the other side, they're getting this leaf discoloration on them as well. So obviously there is something in the yard right now that is eating the leaves of like everything, and I'm not super okay with this. So we'll need to try and figure out what that is and deal with it before I lose everything, because that would be really sad. Across from here, excuse the laundry, we have the lime tree, and it's got little baby limes happening, which, you know, it does this periodically and then they kind of fall off and never come to anything. I don't know. It's looking healthier than it has in a while since we repotted it. You can see that pot is significantly bigger than that one, so it has a lot more room now. So maybe it's happy enough that the limes will actually come to fruit. I don't know. We'll see. This is not its favorite climate, so it's kind of a long stretch anyway. The one thing that is like flying in the garden is the silver beet, which is doing amazingly, as you can see, to the point where we've taken the lid off that now. And the garlic chives in the middle are also doing really well. They're nice and tall and they're thickening up, not like the other chives that probably don't get enough sunlight in the corner. Anyway, they're doing really well. They are super happy, which is nice. And then over here we have the lemon tree, which the last of the lemons have all come off that now for the season. And the orange tree, which had the masses and masses of flowers on it. As you can see, it is covered in baby oranges that are starting to look actually orange-like, which is very cool. We will see. Like this one's done okay the last few years, but it was in like a warm, temperate climate, so hopefully we'll get oranges. We'll see. They tend to be okay in colder climates as long as they don't get too much frost. So hopefully it'll be alright and we'll get some. This one here though around is the mandarin, and this one does amazingly every year. This is such a good little producer. And you can see we have a really good number of mandarins given the tiny size of the tree. They're scattered all over it. And they're coming along really well. So I just have to make sure I keep the water up to it so that they get enough water as they develop and stay sweet. Otherwise we'll end up with just dry fruit at the end, and that would be a waste. So watering, must remember to do more watering. The other mandarin here is still having, it's still got yellow leaves that are needing to come off. I haven't done anything. I need to feed it. This is a thing that needs to happen, but in the meantime it's hanging in there, and that's just what it's doing. So it'll hang in there. I'll feed it in a minute and then it will be good.